ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यदविद्याविलासेन भूतभौतिकसृष्टयः तं नौमि परमात्मानं सच्चिदानन्दविग्रहम् ओम. Okay, questions? Why do you want to bring Tatastha Lakshana and Swarupa Lakshana into it and confuse it?
I'm just understanding it that way.
But
Sakshi is
Tatastha Lakshana. She is always Tatastha Lakshana.
That's what I'm saying. See,
Yeah.
my understanding is not wrong.
Sakshi, don't worry, I'm explaining it. Yeah.
Sakshi is Swayam Prakashit Jyoti. That is how I understand today's Sakshi. So, in the presence of whom everything is getting illumined. So, when
No, that is not Sakshi. One second. In the quote, when you say Sakshi, what do you mean?
Witness.
Witness. When you mean by witness, what do you mean?
The one who has seen everything.
Is he a participant?
No.
You are a non-participant, but you have seen what has happened. Correct? Isn't that how you use the word in English? Not a participant, but you have seen what has happened. You are a reliable recording of the incident. Correct? Same word is used in Vedanta also. So when you are saying in the presence of me everything happened, that you are talking of the Atma. From the standpoint of the Atma, not from the standpoint of the Sakshi. Sakshi, that witnessing is involved.
So, Ishvara, I can say,
Ishvara also, that's why Ishvara Sakshi and Ishvara is this thing. At whichever point you are using the Sakshi, whether it is for Ishvara or Jiva, okay? Whether it is Ishvara or Jiva, you are using the term Sakshi, it means Tatastha Lakshanam, you are witnessing what is happening. You are talking about that entity from the standpoint of what is being observed. Hold on, one at a time.
when Pralaya happens and everything goes into when Pralaya happens and everything goes
Sakshi,
then Sakshi of what? Because then everything is
whatever is there you are witnessing, what is not there you are witnessing. You are witnessing the pen on my hand. Now, the empty hand. Nididhyasanam is different from Sakshi.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, Swamiji, when we say Avasthya is Kriya Shakti, so
Yeah.
the witness of all the three states.
Or witness of all the three states, yes.
Also, we are referring to Ishvara as well, and the one who is witnessing.
That is when you are equating it. See, remember, these are all, each is a standpoint. Now you are trying to make everything into one gochi. That is where the problem is coming. You are not understand that viveka, that fine differences of standpoints is what you have to understand here.
Swamiji, what was the question about Tatastha Lakshana?
Forget the question, it will only confuse you further. So don't even think of that. Yeah. Now look at it, how he has handled it here. Okay. Whatever you are, you have the body and mind with you or not having it. Correct? So he says, when do you take yourself as Jiva? You take yourself as Jiva, you have some idea of the Atma, consciousness. That is there. But you take yourself as a Jiva when you say, I am limited by the body and mind. Antakarna avichinna chaitanyam. Avichinna meaning limited by, conditioned by. Correct? Avichinna means conditioned by. Those who have that doubt, write it down, लिख लो, नहीं तो भूल जाएंगे, सेम क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा बाद में. Therefore, अंतःकरण अविच्छिन्न चैतन्य, जीवा. Clear?
Yes, Swami.
Yes.
But does the अंतःकरण ये problem देने कहता रहा. By the time it becomes past 12, no, it starts giving issues. Anyway, I better keep this ready. Not yet. अरे यार मोटो जी आ जा, मेरे को बंदूक वाला नहीं चाहिए. One second, hold on. Let them also be on that. There is a banduk wala on the Wi-Fi this available, but is locked there. Hey, when is the Moto G not coming on it? It takes a couple of minutes for it to come on, you know.
Yeah.
हाँ अभी आ गया. Geesh connect and put Moto G in its place and connect. Yeah. So like Makator, I'll say, I am back. Okay. Yeah, I am back. Okay. Now, Antakarna Vichhinna Chaitanyam, Jiva. But does the body and mind really condition the Atma? No. What doesn't really condition is called Upahitam Chaitanyam, right? Therefore, Antakarna Upahitam Chaitanyam is called Sakshi. Okay. Antakarna Upahitam Chaitanyam Sakshi. Antakarna Avichinnam Chaitanyam Jiva. Is there any doubt on this? You are the same entity, that nothing changes about you. How you look at your mind and body, that's the only thing. If you understand it's an upadhi, you are the sakshi. If you take it as a conditioning, you are the jiva. फर्क इतना ही है. फर्क इतना ही है. How you take yourself to be. That's why I say both are standpoints. Jiva is a standpoint looked upon in bondage. Sakshi is a standpoint which is still in bondage, but you are freeing yourself from it. Why are you still in bondage?
Because duality is still there. So.
Duality is still there, exactly. Apparent duality, but the duality is still there. When will that duality go? When will that duality go?
When you know that it's all mithya.
Yeah, when you understand that Sakshi is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. You are not merely the witness. That witnessing consciousness, the one that is looking at everything, is really speaking nothing but Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Huh?
This for example, what can be used for wise men also.
No, it's true for everyone, but everyone has to discover it. Correct. If I don't see you as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, can I teach that you are Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman? I'll be false in my teaching. I'll have to say things like, well, according to the Shastra, you are Satyam Jnanam Brahman. According to you, what it is, I don't know. Pata lagne ka hai. Even if you, out of an apparent frustration, the teacher says, "Arey yaar, sab gande log baithe hain." Even then he knows all Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman only.
Swamiji can't hear you suddenly.
Can't hear me? Why? Check your speaker. Turn it up if it is not up high enough. I will also turn my speaker high in case it is not high enough.
No, Swamiji, it's perfectly fine. We can perfectly hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I
Okay.
can't hear Swamiji at all.
Beg your pardon?
I don't
You will
know.
want it. Yeah, you can disconnect and reconnect. Maybe there's a problem on your side. We can hear it.
So this is where the whole thing is. It's only a question of how you are looking at yourself. An ordinary person will take themselves as Jiva. Why? Because may I say you? Yeah, sure.
So I took it as, what I understood is that it's Swarupa Lakshana, because when I say that I am the Sakshi in the presence of moon, everything is getting illuminated. So I am that Swayam Prakashit Jyoti. So then if I take Sakshi as a one, like Swarupa Lakshana Ananda, I am Ananda Swarupa. So if I take myself as that light, then I understood Sakshi as the Swarupa Lakshana.
That's where the problem is. Yeah, that's where the, because if you saying I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, then you don't have to use the word Sakshi. Sakshi comes only when you are using your mind as an upadhi, as an instrument. Only then the word Sakshi comes. Sakshi comes only when you are witnessing the instrument of usage. From that standpoint you are talking about. So Sakshi is a standpoint.
Isn't Sakshi also related to an individual standpoint?
Yeah, that's why it's an individuality. The individuality is there. That's why he said there are many Sakshis. Because individuality is there. Because what are you witnessing? You are witnessing your mind, not my mind. No? When you say you are witnessing your waking world, your dream, your deep sleep, not mine. Otherwise, it will be like their husband and wife, you know. Wife has just got up from there, wax her husband. Why? I dreamt you are making love to somebody else. I said, I am not responsible for what I do in your dream. It's because your dream. You are witnessing only your dream. I didn't see that dream. And then he says, at least tell me who the woman is.
So the best would be Sakshi is an awarer.
Ah.
And because I know I am aware of
Yeah.
what I am not, so and I guess
Yeah.
that's the best way to be aware of.
The Sakshi suffers from the limitation of individuality. As an upadhi. Individuality as an upadhi still exists. Only then you can say Sakshi. Yeah. In your functioning, this is the highest you can come to. As Sakshi only. No? What else you can do? Unless you know the truth. Huh?
I want to ask,
Yeah, shoot.
please don't get angry.
Doesn't matter, shoot.
Yeah, because two things here. If we know Atma, then we come to that like like Vriddhishya Viveka, and that is the Atma becomes the Paramita. Or in other disciplines like they will part of Antakarna only becomes Sakshi. No?
Not part of Antakarna is not becoming Sakshi. Because the Sakshi is witnessing the Antakarna. So when the other disciplines talk about the Atma, they are actually talking about the Sakshi.
They don't know, they don't know that step and that.
No, they don't take the next step. Because see, what is the next step? After Sakshi, what is the next step? I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. I am awareness is Sakshi level. I am awareness, ठीक है. So what is the बड़ा बात क्या हो गया? Your awareness. What's the big thing? But I am that awareness, consciousness which is Satyam and Anantam. Only then Vedanta comes into the picture. That consciousness is Anantam. That consciousness is Satyam. Only then limitlessness comes into the picture. Otherwise, still limited, no? Great level of functioning, but it's still limited. Yeah. For coming up to the Sakshi, you don't need Vedanta. Hundreds of other practices, martial arts, etc., Sakshi, witness. That's the highest level of martial art practices like that. You witness what you do. But that's not the end. That's the highest level of Kushalatvam. Highest level of yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. The highest level of yoga is this. Karmasu, with respect to karma, kaushalam. Your competency. Your competency is highest as the Sakshi. No? Yeah. But when you're talking about all that is what? Still functioning. Antakarna is upadhi. That's the only difference. Between the jiva and the Sakshi, Antakarna is conditioning or Antakarna is apparent. It's an apparent conditioning. Bringing about an apparent change. It's an instrument. This is with respect to the individual. Clear up to now? Any doubt? Ask. Puch lo. Don't get caught up in doubts. That's why when you have a live class, always ask questions. Yeah.
Naveenji, may I?
Shoot.
Yeah, the word upadhi also has a different meaning in different contexts. From standpoints, the word upadhi also has different standpoints.
No. Upadhi means that which brings about an apparent change. Therefore, there is no different standpoints. Upadhi is that which brings about an apparent change. A conditioning, you are looking at it as bringing a real change. Now the confusion comes because all the time I have taught you all that mind and intellect does not cause a real change in the Atma. Which is true. But ask a man on the street, ask a person who is not exposed to anything. He will say, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ. You may at the most say, मैं ऐसा क्यों हूँ? So from the standpoint of the common man, the Pamara, who is not educated in Vedanta, he will take himself as conditioned. No? Though really speaking, there is no conditioning. Really speaking, there is no Sakshi also. You are Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Now we are talking of standpoints. So in a standpoint, the ordinary standpoint, Jiva, conditioned by Antakarna. More mature standpoint, Sakshi, where Antakarna is only an Upadhi.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is individual level. Clear up to now? Any doubt, anything, please question. Because you can't go ahead unless question and doubts are clear. So once in a way you will have a class where you are predominantly handling doubts. That's okay. That's necessary. Clear?
So you said the word apparent change.
Yeah. In the vision of Vedanta, what are you?
Satyam Jnanam.
How are you functioning right now?
Not as Satyam Jnanam.
So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam has an apparent change into a student. No? That's called Upadhi because of the Upadhi. Therefore, Antakarna is Upadhi. Ignorance is an Upadhi. This has made you a student. Your Viveka is an Upadhi, because of which you became a student. Your Mokshecha is an Upadhi, because of which you became a student. Are you getting the idea? All these are Upadhis. Would you ask a friend of yours who is not coming to the class, oh, this is me, I am like this only. Who is not exposed to Vedanta, you ask a friend of her, what will she tell you? I am like this only, this is me, na? Huh? Yeah, exactly. That is called conditioning. It's called conditioning, avichinna. Clear about it. Now the same thing he has said is with respect to Ishvara also. If you look at Ishvara, Ishvara doesn't have this problem. If you look at Ishvara as conditioned by Maya, Ishvara cannot do anything without Maya. Shiva Shaktya Yukto Bhavati. What is the full verse? I don't remember the full verse. Yaad hai? I know. You have to chant the whole thing, I know. So, Shiva Shaktya Yukto Bhavati. If Shiva and Shakti, if Shakti joins with Shiva, only then Shiva can do anything. Otherwise, Shiva is Shava. If you look at it like that, then Maya Avichinna Chaitanyam. Ishvara, but conditioned now. Can you see that? It depends on how you are looking at it, how the Bhakta is looking. Ishvara doesn't have this issue. Between Jiva and Sakshi, the Jiva has the issue, you have that issue. When looking at Ishvara also, you only have the issue. You also have the issue. Therefore, if you are looking at Maya conditioning Ishvara, then you will say it is Ishvara.
Here, when you say how you look at Ishvara, is it from a Vedanta student point of view or
It can be anyone. It can be anyone. When you first come, yeah.
different for different person?
Yeah, it will be different. Yeah. Because even an ordinary person will say that. He may say Ishvara is not there also. No? Yeah. If he accepts Ishvara, then he may go away also. No, I don't accept Shiva, I only accept Krishna. Even the mantra I will change from Hare Rama, I will change it Hare Krishna first. Rama ko second mein dal dega. I will change the mantra. It is called Kali Santarna mantra, okay? In Kali Yuga, this is the mantra that will uplift you. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. उन लोग वो भी उल्टा करेगा. First to start with Hare Krishna. Mantras you are not supposed to change. Unless you can add something if your tapo shakti of that mantra is big enough. Okay, only then you can. Yeah. And there are certain rules of doing it. There's a procedure for it. Shiva Sutra talks a lot about that. Okay, but otherwise you can't change mantras. So you are looking at it like that. You are taking Ishvara and then conditioning it further. No? Further conditionings are coming. Okay. See. Okay, let us go to that a bit later. Therefore, if this is how you are looking at, Ishvara is conditioned by Maya. Avichinna. Okay. Jnana avichinna chaitanya. Okay. Chaitanya avichinna chaitanya will be called Ishvara. Then what will Ishvara Sakshi be for you? Not for Ishvara, for you. When you will say Ishvara Sakshi? Upahitam. When you say Maya is just an upadhi, it's not real. That's the Vedanta standpoint. It's only an upadhi, it's not real. You remember that Swamiji's bhajan? When he worshipped Devi? Chaya Swarupani, he is called some. Swamiji's bhajan, he calls Devi Chaya Swarupani, of the Swarupa of Chaya, shadow. Why? Maya Shakti. Yeah, it's Maya Shakti. Therefore, if you are looking at it as Upadhi, then you can say Ishvara Sakshi. You can say. Ishvara doesn't have to say. Ishvara doesn't have to say. You can say that. It's for your understanding. Ishvara doesn't have the problem of Avichinnam, Upadhi, etc. Doesn't have. Now look at it. Go a step further. Now I am invoking Ishvara, Maya Avachinna Chaitanyam, as Shiva, Dakshinamurti, teacher of teachers. So now Ishvara, which is Janmadhyasте yataha, Janma Sthiti Bhangaha Karana, Nimittam, or Janma Sthiti. Now I am invoking as what? Only as Samhara Hetu, only as destruction, Shiva. Correct? I am taking Vishnu separate. अरे यार मैं प्रॉब्लम में, my guru is not strong enough. Which guru? Your guru is strong, but your planet in your horoscope is weak, okay? And guru is the problem. Is therefore worship Vishnu. Now what I am taking it? Maya Avichinam, but still further I am moving away from Jagat Karanam to deity level, na? Then as Vinayaka, Kartikeya, Subramanya. Can you see? It is all aspectual now. I am looking at it as aspect. Therefore, a devata in a temple will be like this. You cannot have, now, you put Shiva in a temple. Most people will take as Shiva only. Maya, Avachinna Chaitanyam, and further condition in this Rupa. Tamo Guna Pradhanaha. भाई मस्तरा मुझे बैठा समाधि में. I don't have to do anything. वो डिस्ट्रक्शन तभी देखा जाएगा. एक आंख खोल देगा, हाँ हो गया काम. ओपन में थर्ड है, काम हो गया. That's all he. Okay. Therefore he is invoked like that. Okay. Now another guy going to the same temple. Say, just an upadhi, he is nothing but Jagadishvara. He is nothing but Sarveshvara, Jagadishvara. Now he is not limiting it to a small this thing. He same, he is considering him. But still Avichinnam. Still Avichinnam. Because I have to relate, na? Oh Lord, you are Sarveshvara. You are Jnana Pradayaka, you are Samhara Hetu, you are the teacher, you are everything. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. That way. Antakarna, I mean, Maya, Avichinna Chaitanyam still. Why? This is how you are relating. Then you walk into the temple and say, Namaskaras. But in reality, you and I are one and the same. Now what are you looking at it? Upahitam Chaitanyam, isn't it? Upahitam. Maya is only an upadhi. Like my antakarna is an upadhi, that Maya is an upadhi. In Tattvamasi, you drop both the upadhis. What is left behind? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman alone. So he is setting up the whole thing for that. If you notice the structure of the book, he is setting it up. So how do you want to worship now? Remember, when you are saying worship, you will always invoke with a particular need in mind, particular relationship in mind. That's why in our ashram setup, you invoke as Dakshinamurti. Why? सब संसारी लोग आया पढ़ने के लिए. भगवान, you speak through me. I am supposed to be the teacher here. You speak through me so that my words will go straight into their hearts. Make me a nimitta. Every teacher is a nimitta for Ishvara. So invoking as a deity, Dakshinamurti or Shiva, Gangadhareshwara in Rishikesh. Namaji, why did you put Gangadhareshwara there? Because there is a Swayambhu natural formation found on the banks of the river. It took two of us to carry it and bring it there. Yeah, it took two people to carry and bring it there. It's a big thing. It's not a small thing. Very heavy. 30 kilos कम से कम रहेगा. 30 kilos, why did it take two people? तभी दाल रोटी खा के जीता था. इतना ऐसा ताकत नहीं था. And 1 kilometer दूर था, when you had to walk over stones. There's no road. Are you getting the whole idea that how you are invoking? That is why every temple will have its own rules and regulations. Why? Because invoking as a deity. The rules of worship depends upon the pratishtha, how you have done the pratishtha. If it is a tantrika pratishtha, let us say I set up the temple, ashram. I was the yajamana for the temple setting. Special case. The sadhus are not generally yajamana. In fact, I may put somebody else as a yajamana in the temple setup. But if it is a tantrika pratishtha, after that even I can't enter that garbhagraha. The sanctum sanctorum, even I can't enter. Only the priest can enter. And he has to be a tantric priest. And he has to live a certain discipline. It's too much for a temple. Okay, we can do a tantric pratishtha, but we will do worship. With Sankalpa mein, worship is Vedic. Then a few of us can enter. The whole crowd cannot enter. No, but the temple I want to keep it such that anyone can come and do worship, like how you find out. This is called Sarvajanika Pratishtha. Lokatantra Pratishtha. So which is the most powerful, no? Generally you will say Tantrikam, then Vaidikam, then this. But there are certain temples where the devotion of the people were so high that this has become very, very powerful centers. Bombay में एक है ऐसा, Babulnath. You can enter and do all sorts of things on the linga. Really, people who massage the linga, क्या linga को massage करने का. But their bhakti is what? I am offering seva to Ishvara. The priest will tell them, sparsh karo, sparsh karo. And we from South Indians going, sparsh, how? Bhagwan, yaar, how do you? No, sparsh karna hai. Yeah. Now all these devatas are invoking one aspect only of Ishvara. Because meant for a function. In an ashram, Dakshinamurti, because you need people to gain the knowledge clearly. The teacher has to be effective in his teaching, the student has to be effective in their learning. Kushalena anusushta kushalo bhavati. Kata Upanishad. You have to be a kushala. God's grace. So you invoke like that. Yeah, because it's only God's grace that makes the teaching good. Yeah. The teacher has ahankara, I am the greatest teacher. Nahi hota hai. Then his learning is itself limited. His learning is faulty. Yeah. His nishtha is under question. Yeah, if he objectively says, I know I am good, वो बात अलग है. That is objective. It doesn't. I know. So, how we understand upahitam, avichinna. So, when the jnani walks into a temple, he will do the namaskara there. Why? As the deity, Jiva is doing namaskara. With the knowledge, Tumevaham. Karmani, akarmaya pashed, akarmani karmayaha. Can you see that? It is applied all the way. So now there is no confusion between Sakshi, Jiva, Sakshi, Chaitanyam. Ishvara, Ishvara Sakshi, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. 5 standpoints, one reality. Don't see, but you mentioned 3, 6 हो जाना चाहिए. Satyam Jnanam Anantam is common one. So I think the major confusion of the last 2 classes is done. No? The major confusion that was there in the last 2 classes, that is taken care of. Any other questions? Shoot.
Sir, is Babunath, you said because of the devotion of the people.
Yeah. The pratishtha in Siddhi. See, what her question was, you said The devotion of the people in Babulnath has made the temple powerful. But there is devotion in Siddhivinayak also. Correct? But Siddhivinayak is a Vedika Pratishtha plus devotion. Mahalakshmi, Tantrika Pratishtha plus devotion. Both are there in that. But devotion, if it is strong enough, it can make the temple strong. That's why generally, not always, you will notice that behind the deity you will keep a prabha made of silver or something like that. It's called the prabha. Prabha. Generally the prabha is put up after a couple of years. Why? Couple of years. Why? Enough people are come with devotion, so abhi prabha laga dete hain.
What is the thing in Babulnath temple? What is the energy? What happens?
It's a powerful energy temple. Shiva is present there. But the pratishtha is Lokatantra. Anyone can walk in and put whatever you want on top of the linga. Yeah. So that depends upon the invocation of the people. That's why this thing has to be kept in mind when you talk about pratishtha of temples and everything. The people's devotion are strong. Yeah. You can make the invocation anyway, but what about the people? Like Sadhguru talks so much about his temple and they last for 1,000 years and all that. And he almost died putting the pratishtha. Okay? He got himself drained of energy. Why? Because he thought, I must do it on my own. Our Coimbatore temple, Dakshinamurti in Narvadeshwar, is equally powerful. But nobody died or came near that during the. Why? Because there were 15 priests doing it. So the load was distributed among 15 priests. Because you have to use your energy to do the pratishtha. When the load was distributed to 15 people, not 15, it's just a number I'm using, okay? Must have been generally 11 or 12. So that load was distributed. He was doing energy work through yoga, these people are doing through tantra. They are tantrikas. Definitely the tantrika will be more powerful. But they may not use it for other things. Well, they are restricted to that. So there is where the whole thing comes in. Understand this. Otherwise, after studying Vedanta, you can get very confused about temples and this and that,
Swamiji,
Yeah.
is that Mercury Lingam in his ashram, it's Sadhguru's ashram, that's done in Tantric Puja?
There's a Mercury Linga, yeah. In Sadhguru's ashram, there is a Mercury Linga. So I remember telling a yoga teacher, I was pulling her legs, okay? He said, what did you feel when you had a dip in the Mercury Linga? There's a Mercury Linga kept in the pond there. You have a dip. So I felt a tingling all over. I said, that I have felt many times when I had taken a dip in the Himalayas. Especially when my girlfriend is along. I was joking, okay? Yeah. But mercury at room temperature is liquid. It's the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Now in Siddha Vaidya, there is a way of solidifying that mercury. That's the first thing the Siddha Vaidyas are taught, to solidify mercury. So here they solidified in the form of a linga. It's okay, fine. Too much of it is not good. Mercury poisoning can happen. So every day going and dipping, no, don't. Mercury poisoning can also happen.
Christopher didn't feel nothing like
Huh?
Christopher said he didn't feel nothing.
Even I didn't feel much.
He said I didn't feel any energy.
In that linga, I felt like an ordinary temple only. Even I went there. Yeah. They said, no, you must sit and meditate. ठीक है, मैं जाके ध्यान करता हूँ. Same, the energy was the same as any other temple. In fact, there was a guy called Panikar. He is called very often to set up temples. Set up temple, okay. That guy came to check up about our temple and the ashram at Coimbatore. And he started crying. He says, why? The whole Shiva Parivaram is right here. The Sannidhi is so present. Everything is right here. He didn't feel the same when he went there to Sadhguru. Huh? In our ashram at Coimbatore, he felt that. That's why I think who was there with me for the, you were there, na Sunita? For the Kumbhabhishekam? Kumbhabhishekam, you were there. Look at the energies that were there. Oh God. Yeah. That's why you need so many people. You know why? When you're doing a Kumbhabhishekam, first you have to remove the deities. So the energy that is there in the deities has to be absorbed into you. Right up to your tail. All the three. From there it has to be poured into the water. Water is the carrier. So that water with that energy of the devatas are worshipped. Then for the Kumbhabhishekam, the whole thing is poured back. So the energy grows back into the deity. Yeah. 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 Another day. All these guys do it. See, they are all Tamil speaking. They are so, apna Omkaranji's people. They are all Tamil speaking, but my broken Tamil and this thing, I spoke to all of them through the process. Very similar to some of the energy work I do. But I don't do the Tantrika Pratishtha and things like that. I have not got into, but the energy, I understand what it is. So all this can be done, taking it as real, Avichinna Chaitanyam or Upahitam Chaitanyam. It's only a Upadhi. Prana etc. Upadhi is only, no? Or kya hai? Upadhis. They sustain your body, true. They don't sustain Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam sustains the prana. The consciousness sustains the prana. The consciousness sustains the mind. Not the other way around. Consciousness is an independent entity. So, Upihitam Chaitanyam. So, the same, what others see as Devata, you will see as Brahman. Now, Upihitam Chaitanyam, so Ishvara. But when you are doing invocation, you can do it in the way it is meant to be. So, there is no problem about worship and Vedanta, because I want this to be clear. Otherwise, people think, oh, as Vedantis, how can we worship and things like that? As Vedantins, you go and have lunch and dinner or not? If you can have lunch and dinner, you can't worship. I asked the same question to some of my juniors. But Swamiji, now we have taken sannyasa, we can't do any worship. Why you can't do? Because we are supposed to be pure Brahman. No? ठीक है, आज भिक्षा मत ले. Don't eat today. Swamiji, we have fasted for whole last 36 hours we have been fasting. Correct? Don't eat only from now on. Well, Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahman, why do you need to eat? You don't need to eat. Don't eat. We have to eat. If you have to eat, you can worship as well. Why? Karmani akarmaya pasya. Understand this. Then the whole Vedanta question is clear. Otherwise, in all this study, of these technicalities, you will forget Vedanta. Don't do that. Yeah. This is only Upadhi, okay? In 1 hour, I will be off. Rishom kya hai? Thodi kurta baith ke ghar mein baithna wala in the seat. Yeah?
Ishvara Sakshi, Anadi, can you explain that?
Yeah, Anadi because, look at it. Your mind is not Anadi. It has an end. And it is constantly changing. Therefore, we don't say the Jiva is Anadi from the time until he gains moksha. But in Ishvara's case, Maya is Anadi, no? It doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end also. Because at the end of the kalpa, it still remains as Maya. Therefore, you will say Ishvara Sakshi is Anadi. Because there is no end. What about when the creation ends? Maya is there na, for him to witness. That way. In that sense only, okay? Not any other sense. Yeah. But Ishvara Sakshi is taken as one because Ishvara is one only, no? One non-dual. It is from that standpoint Ishvara gets the name Antaryami. See, as consciousness, I am the Sakshi of my mind. I am not the Sakshi of your mind. No? But all our minds are part of Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, Ishvara Sakshi is Sakshi of everything. That's why he is considered all-knowing everything also. Another standpoint is known as all-knowing, etc. Because all minds, including the cockroach and the mosquito, yeah, or a virus or a microbe, all it is in Hiranyagarbha. Now you know the name, another name is get Pashupati. Pashunam Patihi. The Lord of all the beings. Lord of all the beings. Not but colloquially it starts being animal, but actually it means all. We are the Pashus. That's why Shiva has the Pasha, the rope. In some this thing he has shown is the Pasha, the rope.
So sometime back you mentioned 5 standpoints.
5?
Standpoints.
हाँ.
So what are the Jiva,
Jiva Sakshi. Ishvara, Ishvara Sakshi. And then Satyajnanam Anantam Brahma. That is not the standpoint, that is the point. Ishvara is when you take that form as real. Ishvara Sakshi is when you understand that's only an upadhi. That's only a form of invocation.
Swamiji,
Yeah?
when I take Ishvara as Ishvara Sakshi, I am still limiting Ishvara because I am considering myself separate from Ishvara.
Exactly. Therefore, understanding is limited.
Yeah.
Understanding. Then you understand him as Satyajnanam Anantam Brahman, then it's limitless. Saguna and Nirguna, that's the whole difference there. Therefore, if you ask that question, Tatastham Surupam, all the way Tatastham until Satyajnanam Anantam Brahman. Yeah. Only there it becomes Surupam. Even if you take Maya as an Upadhi, it is still Tatastham. No? Because not intrinsic quality. Yeah. There's the whole game. इतना ही बात है, बहुत सिंपल है. If you understand, very simple, there is no complication. Yeah. Those who are struggling with it, okay. The art of listening is important. Sometimes the first time you listen, you may not understand. What is that? It's okay, hold on to that doubt. Hold on to the doubt and listen to the whole thing. It will become clear. But if you get anxious, no? Because see, everyone is a good student, otherwise you wouldn't have survived up to now. The fact that you all have survived up to Vedanta Paribhasa shows you all are good students. Yeah. But you can get anxious. Then that anxiety will prevent you from understanding the remaining words. Udhar gadbad hota hai. That's why the problem comes up. Otherwise there is no issue. It's simple. Yeah. It's not difficult. But sometimes a new terminology comes in, a new standpoint comes in. Yeah, yes, you understand. Just listen. You will understand it. Not a problem. Even if you are online, if you are relaxed about it. That's why Vedanta listening, we characterize it as relaxed alertness. You are alert, but normally you take it as being relaxed. What we will talk about in combat as A white belt and a black belt. A white belt, black belt, relax. Hello, yeah. I can handle whatever comes at me. You're relaxed about it. But you're alert, not that then somebody gives you a whack, you won't know. You're relaxed and alert at the same time. You know, there's a student here called Nidhu. Okay, she's been with me for quite some time. She's there? Yeah, she's there. Yeah. So when I used to take the South Bombay class, her son stays there, studying there. He knows me. So one day he saw me walking ahead to the class and he came running behind. He wanted to surprise me. Just before he touched me, I said, "Hi champ, how are you?" How did you know? That is the student's mind when you listen to the truth. He relaxed. You see, it's not a threat, it's a friendly energy. It's not a threatful thing. Hey, in a Vedanta class, what is threatful? Nothing. It's all relaxed, friendly blessing. Greatest blessing Ishvara can give is through the teaching only. No? So be relaxed, but alert. Alert so that you don't miss anything. Relax so you don't get tense. There is nothing that you won't understand. Really, I'm telling you, there is nothing you don't understand. That's why I like the way Sashi has evolved in it. If she has a doubt, she doesn't ask immediately. She waits. Baad mein puchenga. Maybe now something else, but she will ask because she is relaxed about it. She knows the answer will come. Yeah. So that type of being relaxed about it. How was your tense? You mean, I didn't get that. Relax. You didn't get it. Correct. Lekin aa jayega. Are you getting the idea? This is a way of listening in Vedanta. Okay. Any other questions? Shoot. Kuch hai doubt? Okay. So up to now everything is clear, that means. I think most of the summing up has also happened, na Sunita? You got it, what you wanted, yeah.
Basically, whenever there are online classes, you have to sum it up. We never move ahead. It is not.
No, once in a way this will happen, yeah.
Why is this taken in perception?
Why?
In perception. The topic
Because
is
Sakshi is part of perception. Internal Sakshi is perception, therefore that's why it's taken as perception. So when he is dealing with the subject matter, he doesn't limit it only to that. He sort of goes to the side. Like how in my class I am taking it more. No? I talked about Pratishtha and things like that. Why? Because you have to understand what that, when you say Avichinam, what do you mean? When you say, so he elaborates it. Here he doesn't bother to elaborate that because at that time the culture people understood that part of it. Yeah. Culture was there like that.
when we did Tarka, that time none of this was, Ishvara was also not.
No, they Vishesha Purusha only, that's all it is taken as, yeah. Nyaya Siddham. That's all. Here it is different. Yeah. But I wanted you to be familiar with that language. Otherwise, along with the ideas, when you are not familiar with the language, level of anxiety will be very high. That's why I did that first. So you get used to that paradigms of thinking, etc. Yeah.
Even in yoga, how they use the word Sakshi? What is that?
Witnessing, Jiva Sakshi, witnessing. Yeah. You sit yourself in a you put yourself in a position and witness it.
What about dhyana and all that?
No, that dhyana, etc., is like similar to meditation and everything. But the groundwork is laid in asana because you witness what you are doing in the asana. You put yourself in a difficult position and just watch what is happening in your body, isn't it? So when you are watching, what are you doing? Meditative. Mind is becoming meditative.
Not taught properly, it becomes an action.
That is only an exercise.
Yeah, just an exercise.
Weight gain, weight loss, this is all what is highlighted. No?
Even otherwise, witnessing, in that translation in English only, that ing, becomes like any other action.
Yeah, any other action, exactly.
So witnessing your mind
Also becomes an action. Correct. Okay, so good place to stop. Okay, I'm not going further because then I'll have to go into a text, etc. I could have taken another 5 minutes, but good place to stop. Okay, today's class over all clarifying issues. Okay, Om Tat Sat.